Tonight, we're going to be messing around with these products because it's all about testing. I've spoken to you guys over the past few weeks and I'm really into testing. I want to know what the UK market has to offer when it comes to product. I want to know more about products. I want to get the most out of the product and I want to get better results in a more efficient manner, with longevity, durability, touch-up capability. So there's a lot of factors. Me and the team were talking quite a lot whilst we're in Italy about a testing program. What are the parameters that we would want to test our products, as in, you know, like products that we've been asked to have a look at. So we've tried to break it down, but in a try not to be complicated, but trying to be thorough. So for us, I'm just looking at my board. We've made loads of notes. What I'm looking for, there's 10 key points we're looking for, okay? These are the elements I'm going to be testing over the weeks, all the different products. And we're going to test them in the same way so we can run a data sheet and we can then start to compare. The one thing we don't compare is price, okay? We're not interested. When it comes down to talking about paint, my number one factor that I always want is if there's one thing I could have out of a paint above everything else, it is touch-up capability. But it's not just touch-up, it's durability. I want to be able to clean it as well as touch it in. You know, I don't want to be able to touch it and then it kind of leave a smear. We've all been there. That does not end well. Because then you end up touching it in, that doesn't end well either. So choosing a product that has durability, a good scrub rating, and touch-up capability. We learned a lot about scrub ratings in class 1, class 2. There's more to it than that, but that will come as the weeks go on. As the weeks go, we're going to be talking about product. We're going to be talking about systems. We're going to be talking about machines. We're going to be talking about machines, accessories, top tips and tricks and everything else. We're going to do what we do. We're just trying to get better at it. Each week we try and add a little bit more. Any feedback from you guys is trust me, not just welcome, but needed.
Yeah, we can't do it by ourselves.
No.
Brian, I understand what you're saying. Price doesn't, we say price doesn't come into it.
It does.
If a certain product is 8 times the price, surely it's a factor. Well, yes, it would be, but very rare is a product 8 times the price.
Let's say a product is 2 to 3 times more expensive than the product you're using at the moment. What if the microns is higher, so therefore you get less coats? Your solids is higher, therefore your coverage is incredible. What about your adhesion is better? What about your sanding?
Yeah.
What if, sanding for me, we had a scenario that I was talking whilst we were in Italy about trying pre-cat, okay, and a waterborne system. The pre-cat won over on so many areas, but the one thing we weren't ready for and didn't anticipate was the amount of time we were sanding.
And unfortunately, it was quite an ornate
an
architrave. So if it had been flat, it would have been fine.
I literally started with splitting the door, a double door in half. I did one system and I did the same over here. Then what I did was I took one floor of the property and I did one side and then the other. I did all the time analysis and we worked out that although pre-cat was better in some aspects, as in coverage, strength, the sanding element was 65 times longer than it was with the waterborne system.
Therefore, the labour cost is higher.
Does cost matter? Yeah, but you have to go through a lot of criteria. Don't ever be swayed by the cost of a product without actually, buy a tin, put it through its testing. You might find something that just blows you away, that you turn around and go, oh my God. Half primer, incredible product. Adhesion, oh my God.
But
a lot of people,
the price of some other primers.
A lot of people struggle with it, but a lot of people, again, kind of listen to what I say, and I say I don't necessarily thin down my woodwork paints. I'll thin down half primer, trust me.
But also,
I have to, because it's so full of solids that I have to knock it down to get a good fit. I just have to knock it down.
But also, you may find that half primer only needs 1 coat for something rather than 2 coats.
Yeah.
So therefore, it is going to be cheaper.
And what it does is it allows me to sleep like a baby. All right. I know the adhesion properties because I've tested it and I've used it a lot. When I use it on something like I had a ceramic bath that I had to go from white to railings. I mean, so let's say it went from white to black. I don't want to come back. I don't want to call back. I don't want any grief. So I use the system I've tested. And for me, the price, I'm not being funny, it does get to a stage where the longer picture outweighs the price.
But then
that's all I'm saying.
That is down to understanding your products.
It is.
Understand products, understand the system. But Michael's saying some customers won't pay out for it. But it's not about the customers not paying out for it, because if you're saving on labour, your material price should be built in with your job price.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be down to the customer to not pay for it. The labour saving should.
One of the things that we educate, obviously we run Spray Makes Sense, then after this we run PTA, which is everybody who's done training with us, we really go into depth. We talk a lot more about business. We talk about, one of the things we do push is the fact that you got the phone call somehow, somewhere, through your marketing, through your social media, through word of mouth, a recommendation, whatever it is, you got the phone call. So you, technically, are the professional. You don't go to the dentist and ask all the questions of like, oh, what you're using. You don't go to, when the car's broke, you don't go to the mechanic and say, oh, what you're using, I want cheaper stuff. You've got no say in it. They have to use what they use to deliver the business. And that's how we are. We take control of everything. There's only two things I want from a client. Colour, sheen. That's it. And all they want from me is a price. That is how simplistic it can be. How much is it? They know they want you to do it because, I've shown them. When I do all of the testing and the tiling, I talk about all of this, and they just turn around and go, Ian, you're the professional. That's why we called you. You're really into this. How much is it?
Unfortunately, every time we've allowed a client to steer us with product, it's bitten us in the arse.
Yep. We don't do it. We will literally walk away from a job. Why? Because I am guaranteed over the years I've been in business, I will lose money. Not a lot of money sometimes, but I will lose money. When I'm in control, that's it. So that's what we're about. I'm going to go through the testing. Okay, so...
Hanford and Green. We've had this a couple of weeks, to be fair.
A couple of months.
Well, no, it's the end of August.
Yeah.
So actually, to be fair, it's coming up for a couple of months. And Adam, bless him, keeps chasing us to kind of see what we think about it. And we just haven't had a chance. Go for it.
Hanford and Green, okay. Have you used it? Do you know anything about it? We don't. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to lift the lid on it and see what's inside. We're going to go through some testing here. It's live, okay. And then what we'll do is we'll come back to it at different stages, obviously when things dry, and give you guys some feedback. So what we're looking for when we're testing paint, what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for coverage, okay? How many coats, okay? And the solids content. What we're going to look for is how thick's the tropic the product is. What I mean by that is it going to sag? Is it going to run? Or can we put quite a lot of paint on? In other words, high microns. We're looking for adhesion. We're always looking for adhesion, even on, let's say, the matte paints, not necessarily the primers, the top coats and everything else. Sanding is really important to us, okay? We don't want it clogging up, obviously, the sandpaper, the discs and everything else. We don't want it rolling. We want it to sand really nice. And to be honest, we are not just nice, but easily, okay? Drying time, obviously, that's a main factor. Recoat time, again, still part of the same equation, but more importantly, curing time. How long does this product take to cure? Okay, the reason being is we're all spraying furniture, kitchens, etc., staircases, handrails, and the point is we explain to the customers, although the paint dries quick, it does take a while to cure, sometimes up to 21 days. So curing time is really, really important. When it comes to spraying and actually brushing or rolling, thinning, how much can we thin the product before we start to lose the goodness? Okay. Then we want to be looking at the spray side of it. What tip and pressure would we be wanting to spray out? Obviously what we do is we always lift the lid and we spray it neat and we see what we can do, because some of the paints, the viscosities, are different. Okay, spraying some of the paints might seem really thick and jellified, but when you spray, they spray completely different. So first thing you want to do is spray at the core. Look at the data sheet, okay, and spray neat. Then you start manipulating and messing around with obviously thinning until you find what we call the sweet spot. Then what you want is touch-up capability. You want to come back to it, okay? And what you want to do is check the durability. So test it against certain things, see what it scores like, you know, when you put the back end of something on it. See what it cleans like, see, you know, what you could actually get away with regards to scrubbing it. And then you want to know what it touches in like. There's lots of other things that we can test, but they're the main ones we're looking for. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to the data sheet. Okay, so let's see what these guys say about the paints before we start messing around. So the data sheet says for these products, okay, solids, okay, 35%, okay, which is pretty cool. Their gloss, okay, 40%. Thinning these products, okay, up to 25%. That's quite a lot. So we're going to test that. Okay, the WFT. So how many microns can we put on? Or how many microns do they recommend? And that's 30. So that's pretty cool. Drying times, they recommend drying times 20 minutes. That is pretty darn cool. Okay? And they reckon a recoat is 1 hour, but they're also saying that it's recoat
Within an hour.
Within an hour. As soon as it's dry, get on sanding and get recoating. There's also USPs. I mean, let's just talk about these products as a whole. Lindsay's got the USPs in front of her, so she's going to tell you where these products can be used and what the USPs are.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this picture is probably too small for some of you guys to see, but this paint, interestingly, is really, you know, that they're saying it's used for, apart from the matte, that can only be used on interior, it says on this one here, although on the website it does say exterior, so that might need clarifying. The acrylic, it's all 100% acrylic, so the low sheen, the satin and the high gloss can be used interior or exterior on fibrous or gypsum plaster, plasterboard, timber, MDF, metal, concrete and brick, PVC, interestingly, and also on previously painted surfaces including oil finishes. So it's a really diverse,
very versatile
product. I mean, what it does, it also says on some of the surfaces, it doesn't need a primer. You can use it as a primer. That's not on PVC. Not on PVC and not on metal. It does need.
So we can get clarification on recommended primers on those.
Yeah, but yeah. So really interestingly, and again, class 1 scrub resistance. So on paper, it looks like it could be a really interesting product. Okay,
let me go through what I'm going to do this evening. Okay, so I've got 3 tiles. You've seen me do this so many times. Okay, black tile, black ceramic tile, very slippy. Okay, it will show us roughly, this is mainly for adhesion, not necessarily coverage. Coverage, yes, but mainly adhesion. Okay, but what I'm going to do tonight, which I haven't done before, is I'm actually going to brush one, roller one, and spray one. Because that equally will actually, I suppose, help you guys understand the amount of microns that actually are applied when you spray. So what I'm trying to say is that you might find that 1 spray coat is equal to 3 brush coats, but we'll do that as well this evening.
As I say, it's got phenomenal opacity.
What we're also going to be doing is starting to test on the boards, but for me, I always obviously, layer it as we come up with each coat. I've obviously put the details on the back with the date, so that's really important. Okay. What I'm also going to be doing is, believe it or not, one of the guys came up with this. We were talking to you guys. It's one of the guys in PTA that came up with an idea of spraying it on Corex, which is really good because we wanted to see the flexibility. Because some of the paints we use are really good, but we find that they're kind of too good for what we're trying to do. So if we're doing new construction, skirtings, architraves, etc., we get a little bit of movement as the building's obviously shrinking and settling down and drying out and everything else. So we find that finding a product that is flexible is really important. So we're going to spray on Corex. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to spray on the door, and You can't see it yet, but on the doors, I'm going to actually give the doors 1 pass, then I'm going to give it 2, and then 3, and then 4.
So like we do normally.
And that will show the thixotropic, okay? We're really pushing it. I mean, like pushing it to a point where we did on this door, and it just ran like crazy, all right? But that's the point. What we did know with the last testing we did, that we could actually lay 2 coats. In other words, you could kind of cross hatch on a vertical and get technically like 2 to 3 coats in 1 pass. That was really interesting. So that's what we're going to do here as well. So we're going to do that. We're going to obviously use the Death Star, okay, my little ninja star. So that's the micron.
Got some new ones yesterday, didn't
Yep. Andy threw loads of these at me. He's got boxes of them, so we're going to get more of these. We'll throw some of these out to you guys. I'm not being funny. If you're in front of a customer, a builder, and you pulled one of these out and you put it on your woodwork, a whole different league. I know because I've been there. Jack's been using these for donkey's years. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do some of the spraying, okay, because in there I've also got the drying room, the rack, a heater and a thermometer, okay. I'm trying to keep that area controlled at about 21, 22 degrees, okay. So if we can get something sprayed up, put in there, we might actually be able to see if it dries within 20 minutes. So the first thing I'm going to do is set it up. How have we set it up? We've got the PaintTech T4, okay? We've got the satin version, okay? So can I just clarify what we've got here, Linz?
Yeah.
This is
the matte.
that's the matte, the low sheen satin gloss.
Gloss is an 80% gloss as well.
Yeah, 80% sheen.
Yeah.
So we'll do that one at another time. So we've got it set up. I've got the machine set up. I'm running a 310, which is my standard tip. It's about 1500. I actually, as I open this, okay, it is quite thick. We'll do some videos and you'll see how thick it actually is. I thought I'd have to thin it, but I did say that I'd run it neat. I was expecting a lot more pressure. It's borderline.
You actually did say you were quite surprised.
I was.
You were expecting to have to go high on the pressure.
Yep, I was surprised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the board. I'm going to spray, well, I'm just going to do all the spraying and then we'll come back and do the brush and roller in a sec. So again, we've got the wood, which will go on the twirly. So I'm going to spray the doors, the wood, the Corex, and
one of the tiles.
One of the tiles. So I'm going to do the spraying first. Okay, the concept with this test is thixotropic, okay? We're going to give it 1 pass, okay? But then what we're going to do is give it 2 passes straight away, 3 passes straight away, etc. And we are expecting it to run, clearly, okay? But what we're going to do is give it the S test. So what we'll do is, whilst it's wet, we will actually put a S in there and it'll start to see how it rolls into itself. I'm going to put these in the drying room to see if we can get it to dry quickly. The temperature in here is 23. What they were saying is the fact that once it's dry, you can technically sand it. So we'll see. Adhesion, which we're looking for, which is going to be on the tile. Sanding, which is on the MDF. Drying times, which we've just talked about, which is 20 minutes. Okay, that was 40, 20 minutes. Okay, recoat time. Okay. 60 minutes.
We're up and running.
Okay, curing time. That's one thing I don't know yet about the product, so we'll come back to you on that. If Adam, who is disguised as Ed, can let us know what the cure time is, that'd be really cool. Thinning is really important. The tip, the pressure when spraying, and obviously how durable and what class rating, scrub rating does the product have, and does it touch up? Okay, we find that darker colours are the ones that touch up harder. So we would like, when it comes to obviously testing the touch-up capability, yeah, white's good, but we would want to be testing something like either black or railings. Okay, so where we are at the moment is we've obviously done the thixotropic test, and we can see that straight away. Okay, we've done the Corex, we've done the tile, we've done the MDF. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush, okay, to see what kind of microns I can actually get. And what we're going to do is we're going to roller. I'm not going to go mad. I'm just going to do it as if I was doing it normally. And yes, I know this seems crazy. I do know how to use a brush. To be honest with you, first impressions, yeah,
Coverage looks quite
coverage is good, but I want to see if the brush marks will actually lay off, because at the moment, for me, it's a little bit brushy.
So this is just a little microfiber roller, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let me try and explain what we've got here. I'm going to come to you, okay? So I'm going to start with the roller. Is that picking up, Linz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as well. I'll have to take photos.
Okay, we'll do the photos. The point is, the micron gauge has these teeth, okay? And what you do as you put the teeth down, it will tell you
that
how much product's on.
have to put closer.
I generally do it 2 or 3 times just to make sure. Okay, so we are talking there.
So this is the roller, isn't it?
This is probably about 80 microns.
With the roller?
Yep.
Okay. So what do we have with the sprayer? 150 or 160?
160.
So 160 with the sprayer, 80 with the roller. And a lot of dots on a piece of wood. And then this is with the brush.
Okay, that one, you're lucky to get about 60 microns.
So 60 with a brush, 80 with a roller, 160 with a sprayer.
Okay, I'll do that one.
You can already see it's running.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, you know which one you're going to be looking for. That's already starting to sag into it. No.
You can't see that, so let me just turn that around.
This isn't a flaw on the paint. This is me pushing it beyond.
It's just testing the limits, just to see where the limits of the product are.
I have literally found some products where I've got up to 450 microns, not moved. So it is important to put it through lots of different things. First initial impressions with some of the tests we did. Coverage is very good. Okay, it feels really nice on the brush. It sprays unthinned quite nicely. No tailing, 1500. Okay, considering the product, I was expecting a higher pressure. Didn't. Good cut, no sag. 2 immediate cuts, a little bit of a sag. 3, 4, obviously what we expected. Flexibility, yet to test. Sandability, yet to test.
Yeah.
Hopefully
we'll be able to test the flexibility before we finish, because it should be dry, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
With a bit of luck.
So far, yeah. But what we'll also do is, as we do each of these, we will also be able to see how white they are against other products, and also what the sheen levels are against themselves and also other products. So is a satin, truly satin? Do they class it as 20, 30 or 40% sheen? So again, that'd be really interesting to know.
Yeah.
Hanford and Green, okay? Out of the 4 products, we've tested the satin. First impressions, yes, let's do more testing. So what we've got is these little notches, okay? And they start off small notches, slightly bigger, bigger, and they just go around, okay?
So
which is the depth. I'll let Lindsay
Oh, I don't know, hang on, no, I won't be able to do it because I need to
focus.
focus.
Okay, we'll do a video for you.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. So technically what I should be able to do is start with the lowest gauge here, dead flat, okay, and then we put that there, okay, so we're missing a tooth. So you go between the last tooth and the one that's missing. So technically that would be, like I say, that's about 135 microns on that.
Right.
Okay.
So less than was on the tile.
Okay, 135, okay. That's about 160. about 180.
Okay. So what we've got 130, 160, 180.
And about 210.
210, right. Okay.
210. Cool. Considering the fact that we've got 135 microns, yet the recommended WFT for this is only 30. Okay, and we were getting roughly that with the brush.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say as well is, let's look at this a different way. 135, okay, that's technically 4 times the coverage than a brush. So does spray make sense? I mean, when you're talking this level, yeah, of course it does. And I'm just giving you guys what I call the starting point, okay? I've got to be honest with you, a lot of people do reviews of products and that's what they are. This isn't a review at all. This is me just playing with paint in front of you guys to show you what I would do and what I consider to be important. It's not a review. I'm not going to give it like 5 stars out of, I'm not interested, okay? What I'm going to do is just be blatantly honest. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I'm not going to slag paint off. There's no point. I would just show you what I found and you guys can make your own decisions. And if you do it on a job, just do it on a small area on a job for testing purposes, and just be blatantly honest with the client. I mean, I do this on jobs because I've only had this workshop a little while. I used to do this, and I have done for years, on customers' jobs. And customers go, what's that? Well, I'm testing the products, because I want to make sure that what I'm giving you is the best I can give you. There you go, okay, a little bit of testing going on, just a bit of an insight of what we do with our paints, what we're wanting from our paints, what you should be looking for in your paints. I hope it gives you a bit of an insight. This is just one product, okay, of a range, okay, of one manufacturer. Do the maths, all right, do the maths. We're talking hundreds, okay. Will I do hundreds? Yeah, I think I will. I think I will. Because I'd love to be able to educate the market. Not everybody agrees with what I do. Not everybody agrees with the way I do it. But do you know what? Take it or leave it. It's there. Gives you a bit of an idea, a bit of an insight. So I just believe that quite simply, as a business owner, as a painter, you need to know paint. Boards, as you can see, we've got 2 lines, first coat, second coat. We wanted to see what the sheen level was like for a satin. Lindsay's usually the judge of this. I actually quite like it. I think it's a lovely sheen for a satin. Sanding, it sanded really well. Considering that is just 2 coats with no primer, and this is just a standard cheap MDF, as you can, well, it's easy to turn it over. Okay, the fibres haven't raised as much as what I would expect. It's actually held them back. It feels nice, feels durable. The opacity, 2 coats, really good. You can actually feel the depth. So I must admit, 2 coats. Yep, am I impressed? Yeah, so far I really like it. The next one we did was the tiles. Okay, we did 3 tiles. Okay, we did the brush, we did the roller, and we did the spray. Okay, the only one I'm really interested in, to be honest with you, is the spray version.
Well, the other 2 are more for just to see opacity.
Yeah, but what I found is I'm just going to take my thumb. Okay, and as you can see, if I get under it, it does come off. Okay, this isn't any slant on it. It's not necessarily for that, but because of I'm doing this. If anything, I'm trying to do even more. I am seriously trying to.
So the adhesion seems to be. Is that because you've got more microns on it?
Yeah, the surface tension is just really high. It's got to get through the first one. I mean, I'll try and take a photo, but you'll see where I've literally scored over the top with an X, but I haven't actually gone through. Whereas this, look, I'm just doing the same again, and it's just, I am literally just, say, it's not a slant on the product, it is the fact that when you spray it, you just get better adhesion because of the microns. The microns on that one was 160, okay? We did leave it stood up, it didn't ram, okay? What we then did was the Corex. And the Corex was the flexibility, okay? To see, okay, if, look, this side, okay, you can see, this is, I don't know what's on the back here, just something we had on the floor, but you can see, look, it's all popping off. That is not. Okay, no matter what I'm doing with the adhesion, I made a right mess of my table. Okay.
But it's from the back, not the front.
So this is a really good test, and we're going to do this with each of them to actually see how the adhesion, and the flexibility is fantastic. So far, really like that as well. Okay, the doors, it's easier to, obviously we're going to put the photos up, okay. But we worked out on the two panels here, which is 1 to 2 coats, it averaged between 135 and 160 microns. And as you can see, 160 microns on the tile worked really well. So you can actually get a really good level of coverage. The only recoat time, not a problem. It didn't quite dry as quick as we were hoping, okay. I know they said something like 20 minutes, etc., 20 minutes to 45. We felt it was a little bit longer. So the drying time isn't quite, in our opinion so far, isn't quite as quick as what they said. Okay. What I am going to do is, one of the other tests I need to do is touch-ups. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a touch-up on here, let it dry, and then what I'm going to do is use the lights and obviously see how well it touches in. Does it flash? Does the colour change? So I'm going to literally just do that now. Okay, straight out the tub. We've not thinned it or anything. All I'm going to do is just literally straight across.
Are you going to feather it out though, like we would do normally at this?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a nice touch up. So again, you might be able to see that just where I've just where I've done it, just so I'm not faking it. We've got the heater on in there. It's about 22 degrees. The test as it stands at the moment, okay, we will come back to that. Reach out to Hanford and Green, speak to Adam. I would definitely give this a whiz. Speak to him, see if he'll get some samples to you.
Yeah.
If you do get some, and you know he does send something your way, do some video, give us a bit of feedback. Don't just take it and use it. All right, do what we do, because I'm sharing with you guys. Okay, it'd be nice if you also shared with the rest of the guys. Not necessarily just me, but share with everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see feedback on products. Some people will like it, some people won't.
That's what makes Spray Makes Sense such a great place.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Have yourselves a great week.
Night, guys.
And we'll catch up with you next week.
See ya.
Laters.